that?
I will not say
that's what you told.
yes.
We shared
to an extent, talking seriously. I will agree with what he has said. But you see, what I'm saying is this. I'm going to take you back. Chamberlain, allow me. And I want us to be sincere to Nigerians. We want to educate Nigerians. That was why I said at the beginning that I don't want us to do any shouting match here. We want to educate the populace. Now, let us sit back sincerely, Joe, and do a very objective assessment of the party primaries from the House of Assembly to the presidential in this country, and tell us the assessment.
That might be where to continue from, but just give us a minute. We'll go over to our correspondent, Joy. Joy is standing by in Awka to bring us up to date. Joy, tell us what's happening.
The postponement of the election by the Independent National Electoral Commission automatically calmed down the already frenzied tempo of the electioneering campaign in Anambra State. Presently, some of the candidates are out of the country, maybe to get some rest before coming back to continue with their campaign. But the electorate are very eager to get their permanent voter cards. It has become a mantra for the state governor, Willie Obiano, in some of his outings recently, to tell people to go out and collect their voter cards so that they'll be able to vote during the election. Several complaints have trailed the collection exercise, ranging from the cumbersome process to the undue delays and endless queues that amount to nothing at the end of the day. But one thing is very clear: the enthusiasm of the voters is not in any way dampened. According to the resident electoral commissioner, in a stakeholders meeting he held recently, he revealed that INEC in the state has distributed 74% of the permanent voter cards, which is to say that up to out of 1.763 million PVCs, collected for the state, he has distributed up to 1.289 million PVCs. He also revealed that those who registered between 2013 and 2014 during the continuous voter registration exercise should also go out to collect their voter cards, because that consignment has been received by the INEC in the state. That is it for now from Anambra State.
Well, there you have it, Joy, bringing us up to speed on what's going on where she is, and still talking about the permanent voter cards there in Awka. Well, they have more time now, but we also have some time to do some more analysis here, but that will be when we return. Join us again. Welcome back to Nigeria 2015. It's time now for a look at the headlines with Ayotunde Balogun.
Thank you very much, Chamberlain. Great to be here. Looking at the headlines now, given the political situation in the country, especially regarding the postponement of the 2015 elections, Nigerian women have gathered in Abuja to pray for the peace of the country. Our correspondent Omelogo Nadi, who was at the venue for the prayers, reports that the women are worried about the impact the postponement may have on the democratic process in Nigeria. Now, the Director General of the President Goodluck Jonathan Campaign Organization, Chief Amadu Ali, is maintaining that despite the shift in the election, the People's Democratic Party will still emerge victorious in the 2015 presidential polls. Chief Ali, who was reacting to the shift in the date, in the election date, that is, by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, told journalists in Abuja that come February the 28th, the party will celebrate the renewal of its mandate. Ogun State Governor Ibikule Amosu says his party, that's the All Progressives Congress, will utilize the postponement of the election to its advantage. Faulting INEC's postponement of the polls during his campaign tour in Abeokuta South local government area, Governor Amosu says the APC will win the general elections at the federal and state levels on March the 28th and on April the 11th. The governor is in the 19th local government area as part of his tour of all 236 wards to woo voters in the state for his re-election bid. And the United States has confirmed that aid worker Kayla Mueller, kidnapped with other aid workers in August 2013, has been killed by ISIS militants in Syria. The Islamic State had said last week that she had died in a Jordanian airstrike, but had no proof of her death. The group said on its Twitter account that Kayla had been buried beneath the rubble of a building. ISIS had demanded a $6.6 million ransom for her, but the United States had requested proof of her existence. Before her abduction, Kayla worked at the hospital of Aleppo, and before that, she had been a volunteer with interest in the Darfur crisis. A native of Prescott, Arizona, her parents, Carl and Marsha Mueller, are heartbroken on learning of her death. U.S. President Barack Obama has vowed to bring to justice the terrorists who are responsible, as Mueller represents what is best about America. Right, that's it on the headlines. It's still Nigeria 2015. Chamberlain is back to you now.
Well, thank you, Ayo. Well, let's get back to this, and let me quickly read these comments coming from those who are watching. Ayodele or Demi says, should please address issues and stop attacking each other, because if you do, what do you expect from your supporters? Dennis says, please, you need to address issues as well and not attack each other. To me, they're also saying the same thing. I mean, he first said, look, is Chamberlain sure he's not going to sit in the middle? Don't worry, they'll control themselves now. Well, gentlemen, let's get back to this, because let's show viewers some of the things that our cameras saw, because you know, when we invite both parties on different programs, sister programs on Channels TV, one party comes and tells you, no, this party pulled down my poster. The other party says, no, he pulled down my poster. But take a look at what our camera saw, and then Walaji said, so if both of them are accusing each other, who is pulling down what? I mean, if you go through some of these areas, you see the facing of separate posters and billboards. So the same accusation for both parties. What is going on?
No, we're seeing this thing for the first time in the history of this country. We've had elections in 1999, 2003, 2007, 2011. There's never been like this in Lagos. I don't know why. Because all of a sudden we saw these shopping talks, you know, descending on all the adverts on the so-called federal roads in Lagos, pulling everything down. We saw it in this, near 7-Up. For the entire Kurudu Road. One morning, I live in Adelabu. So I was just coming. What I saw when I was going home yesterday, the following morning, everything vanished. I don't know, but we need to be very, very careful of what we're doing. This thing shouldn't be a war, It shouldn't be a war.
Okay.
You don't need to pull somebody's posters or banners down. Do your own. Do your own.
Let me respond by putting it as a question, and let us be sincere about it. The defacing of posters and flags in Lagos started with the one they did to our flags on 3rd Mainland Bridge. I challenge anybody.
You mean before that time there hadn't been
nothing like that?
Superimposition of
nothing like that. Nothing like that. The first one that was everywhere was the one that was done to the flex of Mr. Olujimi Agbaje on 3rd Mainland Bridge.
When was this?
That's about 2 weeks ago that it was done. You know what happened after that time? I know these people to their game. They now went themselves to go and start cutting their own things, saying that we did reprisal attack.
Is that true?
That's what it is.
No, it's not true.
Oh.
It's not true.
My brother,
we saw it coming. We saw it coming. I won't call them talks again. When they started training these young graduates on we were asking questions. What are these people being trained for? What are they going to do? So we were asking questions. We said, we have seen this thing before when Ogule was the minister for works. We saw it. Then one day I was going to work because I always pass through there. I saw a big signboard. Shopee, what they want to do, setbacks, manage federal rules, and all that, and all that, and all that. And I say, setbacks and all that, signboards. So it was planned right from day one. It has never been there before. So they trained them, and they are still training them to do what you are seeing now. On Saturday, Saturday we were in a meeting. They called us from Bagada down to Osborne.
The thing is this. I mean, we'll get nowhere if we keep apportioning blames and blames and blames.
No, I just told you the genesis.
Having said that,
these people have been trained to
having
do this.
said that,
they cannot go back.
Having said that, gentlemen, let's talk about.
I don't want us to do shouting match. I want him to conclude. When he finish what he's saying, I want to respond. I want to respond, Chamberlain, and say this. We all know in this country the value added Shopee has been to this country. If you check the fixing of various primary health centers in Lagos State, in Okwaja in Etiosa, in Olomo, in Ojo. I will continue to mention. These were done by Shuopi. So we should stop associating negative things with Shuopi. If Shuopi has a program to train young ones, to prepare them for certain assignments, we don't need to associate it with negative things.
All right, we'll come back and take a look and talk about solutions, which is what people want to see. Just hang on.
With the matter,
we'll come back to this.
The solution is this.
No, hold on. We'll come back to this, but we need to move over to our correspondent, Emmanuel. I beg your pardon, Idris is standing by in Kano. Hello, Idris.
It's been a few days since the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, announced the postponement of the elections. So far, we have not seen that much of reactions by the residents here in Kano. Instead, it is the police command that has started what they say is part of efforts to ensure free and fair election. There are also many people here who had asked if the police can guarantee their safety. But the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 1, Mr. Tambariyabo Muhammad, today said that the police is prepared more than ever before to protect the lives and property of the citizens during and after the elections, so that the election will command a general acceptance by the Nigerians and beyond. The AIG also said that he has in the last 2 months been meeting with critical stakeholders, especially political leaders, on the need to conduct themselves in accordance with the law. The focus of the police here in Kano has to do with the issue of the use of firearms by the police officers on election duty, which the AIG says is absolutely unnecessary. However, Chamberlain, the AIG is particularly concerned about the conduct of the police officers during election duty. He says the Nigeria police will punish any officer who may be found guilty of misconduct.
Well, thank you, Idris. Well, speaking about the police commissioner saying they will punish even their own members. That's a strong message the police are talking about there. But now we're winding down. We have to keep our responses short so we can go back and forth as quick as possible. Solutions now. Solutions.
I raised one vital issue which was left unaddressed.
Was it a solution?
About the training of these young people at the toll gate. I said we never had such a, well, we had it when Ogulewo was there. When he left as Minister for Works, the thing was disbanded. And the thing came up again. We were asking, what are these people trying to do? Until one day I was driving to the office and I saw this big signboard where their duties were clearly stipulated. And one of the duties is to take over all the signage on federal roads. And that's why you're seeing this person. It was planned right from day one.
Since you raised it, he has to respond to it quickly before we move on.
Yes. No, he answered from point of law. Mr. Joe Igbokwe, federal roads are classified as trunk A roads. Trunk A roads are supposed to be managed by the federal government. The magnanimity of the federal government made the federal government to grant you certain understanding about your BRT buses that are applying the federal road. So you should say thank you to the federal government. One.
It's our government.
Two. Wait. One. Two. Again, you are talking of adverts. You are talking of signage. Do you know that a lot of anomalies are going on about the law that has to do with LASA? Do you know that the fourth schedule of the Constitution says that issues of advertisement and signage is supposed to be under the local government?
Well,
so what is LASA doing with
LASA
it?
all right. For local government, and it's a state matter.
It is not done. You can. It can't be a state matter. You know why it can be a state matter? Because the Constitution is supposed to be the ground norm. Any other law that is enacted in the state must subsist.
All right, just hold on.
Under the Constitution.
Take this next. Mr. Just hold on.
You have to talk from point of knowledge and information.
Let's hold on.
Don't just come and talk.
Inni Thompson is standing by. She's going to bring us up to speed again. Who knows where else we're getting so much political energy. Hello, Inni.
Yeah, well, the excitement is not just in the studio, it is also on the campaign field, and it's obviously going to stay longer than we originally thought, and politicians are not slowing the tempo at all. Tonight on Campaign Roundup, we take you to Cross River State and Anambra State, while INEC and the police force take us to Abia and Kano states. It starts with the shout of the people of Boki local government area in Cross River State. Then the subject of attention, the People's Democratic Party governorship candidate Ben Ayadi arrives, attracting a larger crowd. He's once again threatened by the presence of the governor, Lee Elimoke, who chooses to speak to the people on election violence.
And you have to move to the next level. But you cannot move to the next level with a bullet wound. You cannot move to the next level with a machete cut. It does not make you a good politician. That makes you a criminal and a thug. So please, all our politicians that are buying weapons, buying guns for you, please tell them, say, I beg, I never reach to die. You don't reach to die.
Ms. Ayadi takes the stage in a special way. He goes further by making it dramatic.
The only thing that stands between you and your success is the failure of your heart to believe in yourself. Let me assure you, even Bhaktivinoda Danta in his classical works, he argues very clearly, it is the capacity of the mind power that analytically takes you to a higher level.
The All Progressive Grand Alliance is covering its grounds in Anyocha local government area of Anambra State. The governor, Willie Obiano, leads the team and socializes with the people.
APGA! I now support the president.
His speech, which is in the people's dialect, is directed at winning votes for the presidential candidate of PDP, President Goodluck Jonathan.
You get a president, you get a man for president.
In Abia State, Umuahia to be precise, the